discuss a subject very near and dear to my heart because I have some wonderful ladies here to talk about food. Food is one of those things that, as has been noted, it's evolving, and like the way that we look at food, the way we treat food has been changing. How does food coverage change along with that?
We're finding they're not just passionate about cooking, they want the whole food landscape explored. So they want, what should I buy for my kitchen? How should I cook it? What kind of grill should I have? And they want the whole experience, whether they're a beginner or whether they're more experienced. And that's sort of the fun for us.
All of a sudden, Instagram explodes with things like food pictures, and you have all this going on with Facebook of people showing themselves making food. And how does digital and social drive that forward for you guys?
Food is inherently, it's global, right? So you like food from different cultures. Facebook is inherently global, and so we see these like very natural overlaps. And I think that's where, when you see a big distributed brand like Tasty, you ask, well, why food, right? Like, why food first? Well, surely wasn't because we picked food as the first place. It was because it was the first place that you see massive growth on social, mobile, and global, because the two just are really so overlapped.
It's very cool when you have access. On the one hand, it's all very accessible and so on, but you also have expert resources to draw from, professional chefs who can step in and teach like everyday people just with a normal kitchen how to take their cooking to the next level. Like, how do you mix that with the sort of social online content that we're seeing now?
I mean, I think that's a really cool thing, the show has been doing lately, is the show has access to just all these chefs, right? But at home, what you want to know is maybe like, how does that chef make breakfast? How does that chef soften a stick of butter in a hurry? So that's a cool thing we can do, is sort of take like the exciting, dishes and really cool food things they're doing on air, and then also just take the one simple thing that they have for online and do like their one hack or things like that. So we just try to give people access in a different way to a chef whose restaurant they might never be able to go eat at and enjoy, but they can sort of take that person's knowledge.
If people were to change one thing about the way they shop for food, like what advice would you have?
Fresh.
Okay. Yeah, fresh food is so good.
As you've seen the internet be able to connect people more and make content on the internet more accessible, you see that same thing happening with food. And I think that the trend is like health, and not in the sense that, of course, like people like healthy food, but I think that because you're more connected to food, because you've learned how to cook food, we certainly see that there's a young group of millennials who are cooking for the first time because of Tasty, and I think they're exposed to ingredients in a way that they wouldn't have been.
Yeah, so if there's one takeaway, it's pay attention to where food comes from and get it fresh. Like, that's the one spot to like really splurge. You can make do with maybe not always the best tools, but it's the food that makes it.